Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Dr. Dare Show live on Facebook and YouTube. Welcome, welcome, welcome. When you come in, let us know how you're doing. Happy Friday. I hope everybody had a great week. Tonight, I decided to do the topic of why are families not like they used to be? Like they're not as close as they used to be, and this could be my perception. But I was going through my social media page and I saw this post, and I'll read it to you guys later. And it was just saying how it was a picture of like a family who, I guess, you know how you used to back in the day, all the cousins and nieces and nephews, and everybody would stay over and everybody would just sleep wherever, even though there was not enough room there. It was just like family was more close. But I noticed nowadays that's not the case anymore. And so I was curious to see what you guys' thoughts are about family and family not being as close anymore. So we'll get started. We'll address this question at 8:40. I like to give people an opportunity to join in, but our topic is why are families not like they used to be? Meaning, why are they not as close as they used to be? And so one of the posts that I saw was stating that, you know, families don't talk to each other anymore. They don't visit each other. They have become enemies, even though we are family, and we only meet during funerals. And, you know, this happens to every family, I'm thinking, or most families, and there's no judgment here. We're just trying to see what is it, where have we lost that connection with family and how it used to be. So I will give you a chance to come on. I'm going to check to see if I am live on Facebook just to make sure that I am being heard and not just talking to myself. Let's see. Let's see if we are here. But it is cold in the ATL right now. I don't know what this weather is doing. I don't know, but it's really, 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 really chilly. I won't say cold, but it's chilly. And especially once you've gotten used to the weather kind of being the way it was before. Let's make sure that I am on. Oops. Oh, there I am. I found me. So I will put this up here so that I can see if I get any comments. But that is what our topic is today: is why are families not like they used to be? And so we will get into that discussion prematurely. Now I have my I found myself so I can see myself and know that I can be heard. So anyway, yes, so we will be talking about family. So checking in, let me know how you are doing. How's your week been, and things like that. Yes. And so I don't know if you just joined, this is how I came up with this topic because a friend of mine posted a comment about families on her page today. And I was like, really, when I think about it, families are not like they used to be. Everybody would pile over grandma's house or grandma and granddad's house and just stay there. Cousins, nieces, nephews would pop in, but it was always a connection every week, all the time. And it just seems like, I know it wasn't perfect, but it just seems like the families back then were, a little closer. And so my question would be to the audience once everybody joins, and I would ask this again. What do we think? Hey, Karen, what do we think is the cause that families are not as close as they are like they used to be back in the day? And so I'll give everybody a chance to chime in at 8:40. We haven't started yet, but that is our topic today is, let's see, why are families not as close as they used to be? I think that's a great question. Hey, Kanika, how are you? And so our question that we're starting this chat off with tonight is, why are families not as close as they used to be? And if you just joined, I was saying that I was going through social media and I saw, hey Donna, I'm sure you've had a busy week. I saw y'all were traveling and stuff. So our question that we're asking tonight is, why are families not as close? Excuse me, as they used to be. And what I was saying earlier is that I was going through social media and I saw this post about families and it was asking this question. So I thought this would be a good topic to talk about tonight. So we will jump into that topic later on at 8:40 when people start coming in. But let me find that post again because I don't want to. There we go. And there it is. Okay. So I found the post. So how are y'all doing tonight? Good, Donna. I can see your page, post on Facebook, which is good. And so I can see YouTube too. Okay. And so again, if you're just joining, I was asking the question because again, I was on social media and one of my friends posted it was this picture of like families, a group of people. I guess they were cousins, aunts, uncles, all different people staying at the house, sleeping over. Like back in the day, you know, everybody would gather at either mom's house, dad's house, mom and dad's house, or grandmother's house, have big cookouts and things like that. And it seems like families don't do that anymore. So that is the question that we're talking about tonight. And we will start that responding at 8:40. Seems like everybody's quiet. It's been that way today. Like even in class, if everybody was just like in their own different worlds tonight. I don't know. So I do want to share this clip also that I found on YouTube. This girl was saying how she was separating herself from a family. It's about 6 minutes, so we'll play that when more people come in. But we want to talk about what has happened to family. Why is it not as close anymore? The reason I'm talking about this topic is because somebody posted this post on social media and it was like families don't talk to each other anymore, they don't visit each other, they have become enemies even though they are family, and they only meet during funerals. Like me and my family, we had that discussion at a last gathering that we had. Like we don't want to just meet or see each other at a funeral. Like the funeral shouldn't be your family reunion, you know. And so I want to bring up funerals should not be the family reunion. And so we will. So the point to that is like funerals should not be the family reunions, right? And we don't want to just meet each other at a funeral. Is that frozen? No, it's not. So I'm checking different cameras because I got one here and one here. Hey, Tanil. So our questions tonight are, why are families not like they used to be or not as close? And I was talking about a post that I saw on social media today. and you've probably seen it because I'm sure it's been going around, but it's like a bunch of family members sleeping in a living room, and it says what is sad about most families is that we grew up like this, like sleeping in the living rooms together, eating together, visiting each other. But today, most of us, number one, don't talk to each other, don't visit each other. Number three, have become enemies, even though we are family. Number four, accuse each other of witchcraft and jealousy. That's strange. Number five, the new generation born out of these families don't know each other because their parents, who are siblings, are no longer on talking terms. And number six, only meet during funerals. Most sad part is that grandmothers or grandparents, who were the glue holding families together, are long gone and just don't understand. Uh, and I just don't understand the world. So that was the post, and it was just talking about how families are disconnected. So I went on YouTube and I found where this young lady said she detached. She just totally detached from her family. So we want to look at that and see what she's saying. Let's see. Is that? Ooh. Oh no, that's not it. Oh. Where's my share button? Bear with me, y'all. So I'm going to share this YouTube video if it allows me to do so. Extra cam video file. Nope. So keep talking if you're just joining. Welcome to the Dr. Dare Show live on YouTube and Facebook. I'm trying to find my settings where it allows me to share. Monitors. That's not it. Oh, yes, it is. That seemed okay. We got it. I think.
And this is a message to my family. I am literally done with my family. Let me see it on record. As of Friday, September 13th.
Hey, Tanisha.
2019. I am literally done with my family. My family always likes to play the victim to everything. And when I say play the victim, like they can't do any wrong. Like they can do no wrong. Everyone else is wrong except for them. And then it's so funny because they play each other at the same time while they're trying to play everyone else. But I mean, my birthday was a couple days ago, and one person reached out to me from my family to tell me happy birthday. And I wasn't even mad though. So I'm allowing myself to fall off the grid because you know your worth when you know your worth, y'all. Like you really know and learn yourself and know who you are as a person. And when you feel like you're being played, or when you feel like someone is victimizing you, you take offense to it. But I think ever if it's not them, then that doesn't matter. I've had family members that told me that I'm nothing but just a maid. Like, damn, that's what you really think about me. That's really, it really hurts. It really hurts. I'm telling you, that's one of the one things that has stuck. Um, just the thought of like, I used to hear it growing up so much, like, oh, you're gonna be nothing like your sisters. Like, your sisters are nothing, so you aren't gonna be anything. And I'm just like, my sisters definitely are someone. Like, my sisters have better jobs than some of y'all. I'm just saying though. So it's kind of like my mom's kids were meant to be like nobody. Like we were treated like we're the bottom of the bottom. Like, I don't know. It's crazy because my sisters don't even talk to me. And I don't know why. I don't know why. And do I care to know why? Kinda, but not kinda. Yeah. So it's no hard feelings because, I've talked to the man above. Like, he makes things make sense. I really should be taking a nap by now. But I just want to say to my family, I hope that everything is okay. I hope life is great for you guys. I hope everything is what you wanted in life and many more to accomplish if it isn't. But as far as us being family, we are no longer that. And enjoy life. Be blessed. Stay positive and stay you. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button on this video, like,
so what do y'all think of that video? So the question is, I see more people has joined. We're saying why our families not like they used to be, why they're not as close as they used to be. So I found this video of this young lady. I don't know her. I don't know her background. So I was trying to listen to, because I've heard a lot of people talk about their family and the things that they feel or the way that they feel their families treat them. But I always have to ask, it's like, what evidence do you have that your family is treating you that way? Because what I have to say is this: just because we think things doesn't mean that they're true. And a lot of people think that everything that they think about, every thought that they have is true. So you may be having negative self-talk like this lady, and I'm not saying she's doing this, but just to make a point of that is that a lot of us have negative self-talk. Like she was saying, her family is this, her family's that, she doesn't like them. But if I was to sit down with her in a therapy session and ask her, who said these things to you? Who did any of your family members say these things to you? Would there be any evidence to back that up? So what do you guys think is the reason why families are not as close anymore? I'll get off my soapbox. Why do y'all think families are not as close anymore? And so if you're just joining, the reason why I did this show tonight was because of a post I found about family. And so the post was saying is what I have on the screen is saying, families don't talk to each other no more. They don't visit each other. They have become enemies, even though we are family and we only meet during funerals. And what I've realized in a lot of families is there is a lot of family like trauma that's happened in that family, and nobody has talked about it. The family member just moves on. The families just move on each year, just holding that pain, that hurt, and nobody ever talks about the trauma, or nobody ever goes to therapy because, families of color, we don't believe that. It's getting better now, I have to say that. But a lot of family members have a lot of past trauma that they just kind of swept under the rug and have not addressed. And then each family member has a certain feeling about the other family member, or we can go into where siblings just don't get along and then they pass that negative relationship on to their kids. So then you got nieces and cousins and all of those people not getting along because of past relationships with the siblings. Like she was, no, I was reading this in another video. But what do you guys think? So I'm just giving backgrounds of what I kind of see is like the issues why families are not close anymore is because a lot of family trauma, there's relationship conflict between siblings, or, there's always something that happened in the past that nobody resolved. And it probably wasn't even as big as current families make it, but we tend to hold on to grudges and stuff like that. So what are your comments? What do y'all think? I'm just yapping. So why don't families talk to each other anymore? Why don't they visit each other? It's like they've become enemies. Everybody's isolated. And I know one big thing is like when a grandparent dies or a mother or a father dies, then that can make the family unit kind of break up and not be the same. And I understand that. And that's where you have to work on that part to kind of bring that back together. But there's a lot of families that they just don't like each other. And there's really no family members that just don't like each other. And there's really no conversation about what the issue is. And nobody knows why they don't like each other. They just don't like each other. And I get it. I see a lot of comments under under the video that I saw earlier on social media, the post that I saw. And they were just like, well, family's not the same. Oh, well, you can find friends and families. Your friends are your family and all of those things. But what do y'all think? Trying to make sure I'm not missing any comments or anything like that. And let me make sure y'all can hear me too. Oh yeah, you can, because I can hear me. But yeah, it's just sad, and again, I know every relationship in the family, everybody doesn't get along, and that's okay. So Tanisha started us off good. Tanisha says, I know in my situation, once the glue of the family dies, grandparents, we become more divided. Yes, Tanisha, and I think that's a big factor in why a lot of families just kind of disconnect, is because those grandparents pass away and they would bring everybody together. But how do you, and not just you, Tanisha, anybody out there, how do you start to bring your family back together? We've got to figure out a way, because you don't want your grandparents to have put in all that work to build this family, or build this family or dynasty or whatever you want to call it. And then once they're gone, you just let it go. You want their legacy to stay, alive. So thank you for sharing that, Tanisha. That is a big one. And I know that breaks up a lot of families. Karen says that is a spot on the past trauma, secret lies, unresolved issues that carries into adulthood, and no one addresses or works to resolve it. Right. And a lot of time, Karen, that's a good point. It's like that past trauma, some relationship thing happened back in the past with the family members, But you know what? When you ask people what happened, nobody really knows. It's just, it's almost like that energy is just living on in today, even though it happened in the past, and nobody really knows what it is. And that's where I think therapy needs to come in, because if you were on and you listened to the young lady who was just talking about her family, all of her thoughts were just like what she felt about other people. But I don't know if anybody in her family member has ever said, I don't like you. I don't like the way you are. I don't. And I'm thinking she's just in her own head having those thoughts. And nobody said it. And that's why, and the question I ask on this show all the time, do you guys believe all your thoughts are true? Do you believe all your thoughts are true? Because I'm here to, I'll let you answer that first. But I got blessed in every area of my life. She says, it's, hold on, I'm going to put the post up there. It's so much jealousy and envy in my family. I've cut ties with them 2021 and I'm done no matter what happens. So your experience is the jealousy. But then what are y'all jealous of as family members? And I know it can happen because I always say we're all human and we all have our own personalities. Just because we have the title family doesn't mean everybody's going to get along. But those people are the only ones in your life that are going to be there all the time. Some families, I don't want to generalize. But has anybody ever sat down who has a lot of family drama and just sat down at the table and talked about the past family trauma that has caused all the relationships currently to not work? You know, it's sad that we are allowing past trauma, jealousy, all of that stuff break our families up. And I have to throw this caveat in there. All families are not good families. So this is not counting for the ones who there's evidence that they've mistreated you. There's evidence that they're no good for you. All of that. This does not include those people, because just because they're family, on the flip side of that, doesn't mean that they're good. But a lot of times, a lot of us, we sit and we develop thoughts about our family because the way we feel. We think they don't like us. We think, but we have no proof that they don't like us. They've never said it. So if you're just joining, we had a few people come in. Our topic is why our family's not as close as they used to be. And so Tanisha was telling us, she know in her family situation, once the glue of the family dies, the grandparents, they've become divided. So that family has become divided. And my suggestion to that is start to build new traditions to bring your family together. That's going to take somebody who's strong to just, maybe plan like a cookout or something like that. So then Karen says that is spot on, the past trauma. So she's saying a lot of families are not like they used to be because of past family trauma, unresolved issues, secret lies that carries into adulthood, and no one addresses or works to resolve, and it's a vicious cycle. And that's a generational curse, I think. Hey, Mary Lou. Hey, Van. Hey, Doug. I see y'all out there. So we're talking about why our family's not as close as they used to be. So if you want to chime in with a comment, I would love to hear. Like I said, Tanisha was saying a lot of times when the head of the house or the head of the family dies, then that kind of breaks up the family. Karen was saying, well, if the family had past trauma, nobody resolved it. So we just kind of gone. I've seen situations where siblings just didn't get along. They never have, or the father side of the family and the mother side of the family never got along. So then everybody just disconnected. But I don't know. I wish I could do like research to see if these families ever tried to come together and say, why don't I like you? Or why don't we like each other? Is there something really concrete that's keeping us from being family and keeping us, together? Let's see. Blessed in every area of my life. I love that that name. No, my mother is one of 18 kids, and it's issues with the family house. And my grandmother passed in 1993. Gotcha. So in your situation, which I've seen happen a lot too, it's like maybe after the death of that loved one and there was some property left or something, and then there's the tug of war between family members about that. And I don't know if that's your situation, but I'll read it again. It's so much jealousy and envy in my family. I cut ties with them in 2021 and I'm done no matter what. And no, my mother is one of the 18 kids and there's issues with the family house, and grandmother passed away in 1993. So I understand that that's a battle with the family. Okay, let's see. Yes, I know it's not the same like it used to be. Mary Lou saying that the family's not the same. I feel like it should be more togetherness than being apart. Yes, Mary Lou, and I agree. But a lot of these families, a lot of family members just don't like each other, and it's just like Blessed in every area of my life was saying. Something can happen with the siblings, and then it just changes the dynamics of the family forever. But nobody will ever sit down and talk about like, let's work this out. You know, you only get one family. You only get, I know like my parents are deceased and it changed my family, but we're pulling that back together just by starting new traditions and doing things like that. But, a lot of past trauma really hurts families, and nobody wants to sit there and talk about it. And I don't know if you guys who just joined, I played a video of a girl saying that she was cutting her family off, but she was just in her own head about, I feel, maybe I have to replay it again. So Tanisha says, unfortunately, some of my family in my generation are very cliquish. I hate that because I'm always feeling left out. That's a big one. And I see this all the time in families. People have favoritisms. Moms have favoritisms. Dad, they'll say they don't. Dad have favorite children that they're like. Mom have favorite children. Because you got to think, we're all human. So we connect to people in different ways, even if it's your kids. So who doesn't agree with that parents or mothers or fathers have favoritism? And then that can create a negative relationship between the siblings because they're thinking, hey, mom treats you better than me. And they carry that on through childhood to adulthood and all of that. And that leads to, okay, those siblings have kids and then those kids don't talk to each other because they see how the relationship has been going with their aunts or uncles and they don't want any part of them. And so then they disconnect. So it's just like Karen was saying, it's like a vicious cycle of, but how do we resolve these things, y'all? Most families don't resolve them. They just don't communicate anymore. They just kind of let the family dissolve. Some people on this side, some people on that side, and they barely talk. But the thing is, which I want us to really, really change is we'll go through life with family members like that, not talking to them. But guess what? We'll show up at their funeral. We got to stop doing that because see, now you're just sitting there looking at their corpse in a casket and you could have had a conversation like, okay, I don't know what happened in the past. I don't know all the details. At this point of life, I don't care. Let's just squash it. And I'm not saying you got to be best friends, but don't allow something that happened in the past that you don't even know all the details. You don't even know why you don't like each other. It's just there. And I know this is easier said than done because I know families can be so blessed in every area of my life. I decided to focus on me and my grown children and creating new traditions. I like that. So building your own family and making sure, y'all are good. And Tanisha brings up a good point. There is a lot of cliques in families. I don't know why. Yes, I do, because we're human. We're all human. We just have the title of family. And so it can be really, 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 really hard. What do you think? Okay, we got some new comments. I have seen families where one sibling is jealous of another, then their kids who are cousins never got to know that side of the family. And that, yep, Karen, and that's what I was reading today in another article, and that's what's happening, and that's what's causing a lot of the family members, a lot of the families nowadays to just kind of divide. So I'll read what this person said, and she's like, "What is sad about most families is that we grew up like spending time with each other and all of that stuff, sleeping together, eating together, visiting each other. But today, most of us, number one, we don't talk to each other. Number two, we don't visit each other. Number three, we have become enemies, even though we're family. Number four, we accuse each other of witchcraft and jealousy. Number five, the new generation born out of these families don't know each other because their parents, who are siblings, are no longer on talking terms. And number six, only meet during funerals. The most sad part is the grandmothers or grandparents who were the glue holding families together are long gone. And I just don't understand the world. And that's this post that I found earlier today is what caused me to bring this topic up today and get you guys' opinion of what's happening. And blessed in every area of my life says I don't do the funerals anymore. No matter what, because of a lot of people are fake, right? And why come to, if you didn't talk to the person while they were alive, why go to their funeral? And that's the thing, you know. I know family is not as important to people, like, or they're holding grudges. They're holding on to emotions that maybe they had a bad interaction with one family member, and then they just held that on, and then, you know, they disconnected from their families. But a lot of family members, if you ask them why they don't talk to their family anymore, they'll tell you. But then if you ask for proof, it's like, well, when did they say this to you? When did they make you feel this way? When did they? And the person can't give it. And that lets me know that's self-talk. That's negative self-talk. Just like this girl, I think I'll play that clip again before. But Mary Lou says sometimes family members can be your worst enemy. That's true. That's true. All families are not good families. And this video by no means, or this show tonight by no means it's trying to force somebody to be around family members that are not good for them, because there are some toxic families where they're carrying on generational curses like alcoholism and addictions and all of those things, and they're just carrying on that vicious cycle, and each generation is just taking it on. We're not talking about those families because, you know, therapy needs to come into play in that. So blessed in every area of my life says I don't like how I feel around them, and I'm responsible for making sure that I'm in a safe place. Okay, so yours is more of safety, and you don't like the way you feel about them. So I would challenge anybody, not anybody who's not feeling good around their family, like, what evidence do you have that supports that for you? Like, I don't want it to just be like, well, I feel like, or I feel like they don't, I feel like, no, what has somebody did, and not talking to you blessed in every area, but in general, if you're having these thoughts about your family, I want to challenge you to say, what is the evidence that I have that's making me say these things about my family members? Have they actually did something to me directly where I have evidence that they are bad people? Not just because I don't like them. Why? What, you know, what evidence do you have? Because what I fear is that a lot of us have thoughts in our head like, oh, my mom don't like me because she always did stuff for my brother, always did, you know, things for my cousin, but never did anything for me. So that means if that was me and I'm talking and I'm the therapist, I'm saying, so you felt hurt that your mom did more for your brother than you. So why not have that conversation with mom and have that conversation so you can clear your conscience of that and move on and try to have a relationship with mom instead of just holding that emotion in and not telling anybody and just saying, Mom, my mom didn't like me. She didn't like me at all. Give me evidence, because those thoughts, I'm telling you, your thoughts will get you in trouble because you think all your thoughts are true and they're not. That's your perception. When you see things, you perceive those things, but that doesn't mean that they're true. Like, I can look at this container and say, oh, this container doesn't clean the walls. This formula doesn't clean the walls. Like, I can think that, but until I try to spray it on the wall and test it, I don't have evidence. And that's how your thoughts are. Your thoughts will have you feeling so bad about yourself, so bad about your family, because you gotta communicate and ask them, hey, sister, I feel that you don't like me because of something that happened in 1966. Do you remember that? And the sister's probably like, what are you talking about? I have no ill feelings to. Sorry, you're holding on to that, but we don't communicate. That's key to that. So Karen says, 20 years ago, my niece made a new bestie. Turns out that they are cousins because the new bestie's dad told them and showed photos. Since then, our family has a cousins cookout each summer. So they didn't even know each other. That's the sad part too, is that you have family members you don't even know because everybody has fallen off, which means too that you have to be careful, because what if you marrying your cousin because you don't? That's a whole nother show. Mary Lou says, sometimes family members can be your worst enemy. I read that already. Hold on. And Mary Lou says, I think some people don't like to talk about things anymore and able to move on, right, and move one. They would rather be upset and stay away from each other. And you're exactly right. And that's why I was like, the communication piece is what a lot of families is missing. I'm telling you, as a therapist, the biggest issues in relationships, it could be family relationships, romantic relationships, the biggest three things that always break up relationships is communication, trust, or boundaries being crossed. And if those things are not addressed, if you never communicate the feelings that you have in your head, you're going to always think, yeah, they don't like me. There's no proof. You have no proof of it. And the things, when you start having these thoughts about any situation, when you're having thoughts about something, about somebody, the way you feel about somebody, but they haven't actually said that stuff, it's not, you have no proof. You have to confront. You have to ask. I challenge my clients all the time, is you have to challenge those thoughts. Your thoughts are not always true. All of your thoughts are not true. I think some people don't like to talk about things. Okay, I read that one. I got some other comments over here. Blessed in every area of my life says, it's how people treat me and I pay attention to actions. Okay. And you can pay attention, but blessed in every area of my life, I still challenge some of your thoughts. So all the people that are listening right now, I want to know, with yes or no, do you believe all your thoughts are true? I'm just curious to see what I get. Hey, Jennifer, I want to see what I get. Do you believe all your thoughts are true? Good. Blessed in every area of my life says no. So we got a no. Do you believe all your thoughts are true? Karen says absolutely not. So we got two no's. Mary Lou says no. Good. I want somebody. No. Good. No yeses. Okay. And Mary Lou says no. Tanisha says sometimes, laugh out loud. No, probably 25% are true. Okay. Tennille says no, about 25% are true. Jakiri says not all of them. When I'm mad, I think they all are true. And that's a problem. I like that you brought that up. So Tanisha says sometimes. So Tanisha thinks sometimes all her thoughts are true. And Tony says no, but probably 25% of true. I can rock with that. Donna says no. Okay. Because they're not, some people have ended relationships. They have destroyed jobs. They have screwed up a lot of things because they thought, Sally, my manager, doesn't like me. Only because Sally was on you, riding you about coming in late. All right. And so then you're thinking she doesn't like you. No, you were late. So all your thoughts are not true. I'll give Tony, she's saying 25%. Okay. But even if I don't want you to just say, okay, my thoughts are not true. But if you have thoughts, I challenge you from this day forward is to question those thoughts. So say, for instance, you walk past somebody and you're like, they made a face. And so you're like, oh, they don't like me. Did they say that? Or did you just perceive based on their facial expression that they don't like you? So if they didn't say they don't like you, you don't know that. Now, if you go and ask them and they say, oh, yeah, I don't like you. I don't like the way you walked in here. I don't like, then you got your facts, you got your answers. And then you can say, oh, well, they don't like me. But what if you walk up to them and they're like, I'm sorry. And you say, I saw you make that face. Do you not like me? And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't even looking. I was thinking about something else. No, I don't. I have no issues with you. See, now I got evidence. And you can believe it if you want. But if there's this thing called emotional reasoning, right? That means it's a cognitive distorted thought. Emotional reasoning is when just because I feel it so strong, I believe it's true. But it cannot be. It can be, and it cannot be, though. So that's, if you can look this up, it's called emotional reasoning. It's a cognitive distorted thought that we all have sometimes. Is that because I feel it so strongly that it has to be, it's got to be true. So Jakari, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Sometimes they are mad at something else and not you. Right. Exactly. Mary Lou says people be assuming that that's where things get worse. Yep. And that, that cliche that or that statement that they say is what happens when you assume things. And I truly believe that. But what I do want you to believe, what I do want you to walk away from this show with is just challenge your thoughts. Like if you're having negative thoughts, most of our thoughts make us feel bad about ourselves. Most of our thoughts make us feel bad about ourselves. If you think somebody don't like you, that's something you probably need to do some self-reflection on, because I think a lot of those thoughts, just listen to your thoughts. The next time you're thinking something, listen to your thoughts and see what they're making you feel. They're probably making you feel bad. I guarantee it. So Blessed in Every Area of My Life says, I tried for over 20 years to work things out with my family, especially my mom, but miserable people loves company. And so thank you for sharing that, Blessed in Every Area of My Life. So when you've tried and you're just getting the repeat behavior from some people, that's their personality. And sometimes you do have to walk away. So I don't want us to think that, oh, if I'm having a bad relationship with them and I've tried, I still need to force that relationship. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. It ain't me, it's you. That's what you say, Mary. Mary says, it's not you. It's not me, it's you. All right, y'all. They thrive off foolishness. Blessed in Every Area says they thrive. They seem to thrive off foolishness. Karen says emotional reasoning. Never heard of it. It makes so much sense. Yeah. So emotional reasoning. I will challenge y'all to look that up. But it's a part of the cognitive distortions. But it's because I feel it. Oh, they don't like me. I feel it. I could tell. Oh, they don't feel it. That's what your thoughts are coming. They're called ruminating thoughts. When all these thoughts just keep coming to you, and it happens to people, especially when you have anxiety. They don't like me. They don't want me to come. They don't want me at this party. They don't want me to. And then you feel that so strong, and then you're rolling your eyes at them, and holding a grudge and all of that stuff. And they're looking at you like, what is wrong? And you're going based on your thoughts that, oh, all these people don't like me. But they invited you to the party. They invited you to the things. So emotional reasoning, remember that, take that one away. That's when you feel so strong about something, but there's no validity, there's no truth. Nobody said it, you feel it. So you feel it so strongly, you think that it's true. And it's not always the case. So those are what we call, and I'll put that word, cognitive distortions. There's about 10 of them. Jumping to conclusions is a cognitive distortion where you assume you know what's going to happen. So you jump to a conclusion, and that's not cognitive. Hold on, cognitive distortions. That's kind of what we're talking about. And emotional reasoning is a cognitive distortion. And we have a lot of people with anxiety have a lot of cognitive distortions. Emotional reasoning, black or white thinking, jumping to conclusions, catastrophizing, meaning that you make something bad before you even experienced it. Like, say, for instance, you get invited to a party. So you're at home, you're getting dressed, but you're like, oh my gosh, nobody's going to like me when I get to this party. Nobody's going to talk to me when I get to this party. They're not going to like my outfits. They're going to be talking about me in a negative way before you even get to the party. So you've already catastrophized. I'm guilty of that one. Like, I'll catastrophize stuff before when I'm about to do stuff, but that's anxiety too, right? So you're thinking the worst possible scenario before you even get to the thing, before you even do the thing. And that keeps a lot of people from going after their goals because they catastrophize it. Oh, I can't do it because such and such. Well, you haven't tried. You haven't tried. Okay. So Jakari says, I've tried to get to know, excuse me, my dad's side of the family. They gave me up as a child to the foster care system. And they try to let it go as an adult, but IRS had to forgive and forget. Then they want me to give, hold on. Explanation. I met my aunt on his side later, but hadn't spoken to me in 3 years. Like, my family is avoiding me. And I think it's kind of hard, Jakari, to like, once that distance, it's going to be hard to reconnect with that family if you're trying. So I don't know all your details, but I say don't give up. If you want a connection with that side of the family, don't give up. But if you keep getting a cold shoulder, then you have to, I would say, establish maybe a stronger friend circle and maybe consider them or consider those people your family. It's hard. And again, I don't want to force anybody on here to connect with people where you've tried to build a relationship with your family and they're toxic and they're repeating the same behaviors, because I don't want you to stress yourself out, because your peace is important more than trying to build a family where there's no camaraderie or no connection in that family. So I want to make that clear. Hey, Jeremiah. So any questions on anything we talked about? You can look up cognitive distortions. There's about 10 or 11. Black or white thinking, jumping to conclusions, mind reading, emotional reasoning. There's one, mental filtering, where you just look at everything that you do as negative. You don't see any of the positive things you do. You just always think, oh, I did that bad. Oh, I did that bad. Oh, I did that bad. But you never see the positive things you say. So there's a bunch of all your thoughts have a label. That's kind of what I'm saying with your when you have thoughts and you having them all the time, they have labels. So Tanil says, I will say that social media has connected me with some family that I would not otherwise have interactions with. It's not the same as in person, but it's better than nothing, especially for those who are not local, just adding a positive. And that is a good positive. That's why social media has benefits. It does keep you in contact. I actually have met some Brockingtons that I probably would have never kind of talked to since social media. So you are right, Tanil. Thank you for adding that positive insight there. But yeah, blessed in every area of my life says I made the decision to limit my interactions with others to essential matters only, as I find excessive social engagement to be overwhelming and draining. I get it. Protect your peace. I always say that at all costs. Curry says, and it hurts because I love my family regardless of what happened. Yeah. But don't give up, Curry. Just keep trying if that is a goal of yours. Maybe seek therapy to see how to go about reconnecting with family and stuff like that. But I'm going to let us go because we're at 55 minutes. Any more questions or any more comments before we disconnect? Thank y'all for sharing. Thank you for being vulnerable and letting us into your Friday night. Yeah, Tanisha says, I'm just tired of my family asking me for money. Laugh out loud. That turns me off. That is a turn off. But you got to put boundaries on that too. And know when not to give and when to say no, and because you don't want to take that on as a role in your family as the giver of money, and that's all. I don't talk to you other than that. Blessed in every area of my life says I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing, and come back in 2 weeks. We'll do another show. I think 2 weeks. My birthday is April 15th. I think it's April 12th. So anyway, yes, we'll be back in 2 weeks. Thank you, everybody. And I will talk to you all in 2 weeks.